in my mind when I think about the image of God and what that means. I think about that human beings were created with this unique ability and capacity to reflect the character of God and his nature. Like, I think you could even sum it up by saying mankind was capable of manifesting the fruit of the Spirit. Think like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control, all these things that moral rational judgments that animals are not capable of. Animals can't.
Spiritual.
And all those things. Again, it's the fruit of the Spirit, which is, it's a reflection of the character of God. It's a reflection of who God is and what he's like. These things like, again, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. And so God created mankind in his image. Again, that has nothing to do with anything physical. It means that mankind had the unique ability amongst all the created creatures to put on display the nature and the character of God. Going back to the verse Kelsey referenced, his invisible attributes, Romans 1. And so I think it's significant. There is great significance in the fact that within that, God did create both male and female. But I think what that tells us is not that means there's both a male and female God. What it tells us instead is that male and females both together, I think, reflect more accurately together the full picture of who God is, that God has both female and male characteristics. And you see all throughout the Bible, the Bible will refer to God as like a loving mother or a hen that gathers her brood. And so there's this tenderness.
Matthew 23.
So there's this tenderness that God has that is more likened to a mother's love. And so I think God created both male and female because God has both of the characteristics within his nature. And so both male and female together kind of paint this more full picture.
He's genderless. So he transcends gender. He's genderless, There's no reproduction going on there. But he, like you said, he has different attributes and characteristics where, there's a different distribution among humanity like that in his image. So I was saying, like, what is the image being spoken of here? If you want to read Colossians 3:10, I think that's very enlightening on what this image is. You want to read that, Jordan, Colossians 3:10?
So Colossians 3:10, Paul says, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its creator. Interesting. So let me read the verse before that. So verse 9.
That's not a physical image.
Right. Verse 9 says, don't lie to one another, since you have taken off the old self with its practices. You've put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its creator. So I think that goes right along with what we were just saying, that what does it mean to put off the old self and put on the new self in the New Testament? Well, it's this idea of changing your character, changing the way you think and behave, becoming a loving, kind, gentle, all these things, self-controlled sort of person. And that is what Paul's saying in Colossians is what it means in verse 12. Does it list that? Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So therefore in verse 12 it says as
so
the elect of God. So this is the
idea of sanctification.
Right. So as the elect of God, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with hearts of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, forgiving one another. Yeah. So right there he starts going into basically like the fruit of the Spirit. He's saying to be renewed in knowledge in the image of God, to become more in line with the image of God. What that looks like it doesn't have anything to do with male or female, but it has everything to do with the fruit of the Spirit, with reflecting the nature and the character of God in this instance, in how you relate to other people and the rest of creation, basically.